That's funny. I don't know. It was hello, everyone. There was like a minute or two. I was a little late, but there was a minute or two that I'm pretty sure I was just talking to myself. Unless for some reason the audio was coming through and the video wasn't. Um, but yeah, I realized I didn't. I thought I pressed go, and I did not. So, hello, everyone. If you are here, let me know. I would love to say hello and see you, at least via chat. It's Tuesday talk time with GINX. And I actually feel like I have some stuff to talk about today. I'm looking down at my phone, sorry. All right. So yes. Oh look. Oh my gosh, y'all. Oh, so last week I want to first update those of you who were here last week or have just seen my videos recently. I was without ADHD medicine for over 2 weeks. Um, I had that resolved on Saturday. I got my first dose of Vyvanse is what I use for ADHD. I got my first dose after over 2 weeks on Saturday, and it was so relieving. It just helps it just helps clarify everything ever in my brain. Hey gay, how are you? uh I'm excited for a few things. And how is your day first? I'll say, how is your day? I'm gonna look something up here. Bear with me. I probably look like a ghost right now because I have a massive TV screen in front of me. This is what I use for my monitor. And anytime the screen changes, it's special. I'm trying to look at something here. Whew. So yeah, so I have my ADHD medicine and I feel a lot better. And it's lovely. All right, Gay says, I'm good and I'm so happy about the reaction you did of High Hopes. Oh, I'm way ahead of you. I caught the fact that you couldn't get your meds, made me do some research about the meds. Yeah, I mean, it's nuts how much of a difference it makes. And I originally started when I was first diagnosed. I was diagnosed when I was like 35 or 4. I can't remember. And I started on Adderall. It's a whole process that went through. Like I started on Adderall. We started on the lowest dose, go up, go up, go up. Well, I got up to 20 milligram on Adderall, and I was like having some chest pain. And I have heart. I had a heart procedure done when I was 18 to fix the basically like electrical pathways, basically like natural pacemakers in my heart. There were extra, so they had to like burn them off. Craziness. Fixed my heart. Didn't have to do open heart surgery or nothing, but I still have to be very, very mindful of things in that realm. And my doctor was very dismissive about the fact that I was concerned. Like, I didn't feel this way on 15, but on 20, I do. And he's like, well, that can be like stress. That can be a lot. totally dismissive. Well, then I got a new doctor. I stopped taking Adderall for a while. Got a new doctor. I said, this is what we used. I know I can go up to 15. I know it was helpful. Well, then I realized it wasn't as helpful as it could be when I started hearing other friends of mine who are my age who more recently got diagnosed and then started taking Vyvanse. And uh yeah, and I was like, "What? This is what you're experiencing?" Like I could focus and I had the motivation and energy to do things, but I was not clear. Like there was not clarity in my thinking. And then I said talked to my new doctor who again, she started me on Adderall because that's what I had before. But I asked her about Vyvanse and she was like, "Yeah, this is actually for the people who are newly diagnosed. This is what I uh, start with for my adult ADHDers." So she's like, "Yes, let's try this and see what happens." And it has been a lifesaver, like seriously. And that 2 weeks without it, I was like, which I think to myself, like, that sounds like so 2 weeks without a medication. It was horrible. Like, but no, it's like seriously, it helps. Like, kind of like he said, like it helps rewire your brain to make sense of things. Like, it, it's wild, and when it's truly needed, it is actually doing the thing it is. And I'm not saying like I'm not trying to justify it or what. I'm just saying explaining like it's very interesting. Um, that process of like realizing because Vyvanse I just started fairly recently, maybe October. Um, and it has been a game changer. And that 2 weeks without it was like, holy cow. Like, I lived functioning like this for 30 some years. Yeah. So Gay says, caught the fact that you couldn't get your meds, made me do some research about the meds. Continues to say, I think it's a pity that in this country we can't supply people with the medications they need. Yeah, and the thing is people are being diagnosed, and a lot of adults are being diagnosed that just were undiagnosed for years, like Marco. Um, because I truly believe they didn't there wasn't the knowledge about it either. And my mom is so interesting because she's like, I feel so bad. Like, I never got you tested for. It was a different world in regards to that um, when I was a kid. You know, the only options they had were Ritalin. And I knew people who are on Ritalin, and it was just nuts. Like, um, but I just figured it out. I got through school. Somehow I got through college. But damn, had I had this, had I had like the ability to, well, Vyvanse didn't exist then, but man, I can't fathom what it would have been like to go to school properly with my brain functioning at a normal state, I guess. All right. Hello, Gwen. Good morning. Gwen says, we're just glad you're doing better. Unless you have money. Well, yeah, that was another thing. One of my pharmacies that I get stuff, they had the brand name. They didn't have generic available. Luckily, I have good insurance. And like so even the brand name wasn't that expensive. And I didn't want to spend that. I mean, it was a chunk of money that I'm like, if I can get it for generic, I'm going to. Um, sorry, a message came from my client. Um, oh, and now a scam call is trying to contact me. uh, all right. He says, when Marco first went on ADHD meds, he commented, "So this is what feeling normal is like." I know you mentioned that in that comment. It's shocking, honestly, when you realize what it's like to have a clearly functioning brain. Marco was in his mid 50s when he was finally diagnosed. Oh, yeah. People with money scarfing up the meds they don't need. Yeah, that too. Thank you for clarifying. So I have my meds and I feel sane and clear. So that's, and just relieved. Like, oh my God, it was like, and this is why I thought, like, this is kind of fucked up because I was so uncomfortable without it after knowing what it was like, for so being, I don't know, it's just it blows my mind how much of a difference it made. And then there was the part of me like, oh crap, should it make this much difference? Like, is that bad that I'm feeling so uncomfortable? It's like, no, it's just I didn't realize how it affect how I didn't realize how uncomfortable I was thinking in that way before the meds. I will always and forever be dorky. But I would say everyone's like, "You're not a dork." I'm like, okay, I'll just call myself a nerd. And then someone commented, I don't know who it was. Someone commented on that first video when I was like, nerdy, pro audio engineer. Someone commented, dork. And I'm like, yes. Both apply. So, and it's not, I think it was you who said, someone said, am I the only one who, doesn't think dork is a, um, whatever? I can't remember. But like basically, yeah, it's a compliment to me, honestly. You did say different. I like nerd. Nerd or dork. People didn't like dork. I'll go with nerd. I'll probably change it up every so often. I don't know. It's just I like to have that little adjective before. Oh, okay. So I don't think I read that out loud. I like to try to read the chat out. So for those of you who are not, uh, who like come on here and don't see the chats because sometimes the chat doesn't come up for replays. Um, depending on what you're watching on, I believe. Anyhow, the reason I talked about that was because Gwen said, "You sound dorky again." I'm like, I always sound dorky. Gay said, "Been a nerd and a dork my entire life, so I'm all for it." Gwen said, "You do you, my friend." Or do we have anyone else here today that is able to message? Um, I am looking up something on my phone. Bear with me. I'm I actually need to respond to a client's comment or message. So bear with me.